Oh boy, here we go again. Just when you think there can't be that many fails out there in the world, more rear their funny little heads and beg to be shown about the internet. Here, we'll take a look at more mistakes that are so bad that they just can't be ignored. Get ready to see some bathroom disasters, truly flawed road designs, staircases with all kinds of problems, and more. This is Funniest Engineering Fails, Part 2. 17. Better get a bigger budget. Ugh. This fail looks pretty severe, and like it could cause plenty of problems that would be reasonably easy to avoid. Yeah, people may be upset that their way across the river is blocked off, but it's better than, your car dropping right through the bridge into the water. If anything, put up a sign that says, "Drive really, really fast on bridge." We're guessing that it wasn't an engineer that put together this fail, and was probably just some locals who figured they couldn't wait for a proper fix. But who thinks that stacking rocks up under a bridge is an appropriate solution? 16. Hopefully the train conductor is smarter. These folks building this track are in for a rude awakening if the conductor of whatever train rolls down this track and doesn't choose to stop when they see this. While we have to assume, or at least hope, that this is photoshopped, we kind of hope that people are dumb enough to try to put a train track together like this. Can you even imagine the lawsuit that would follow after a crash on this squiggly section of track, especially if the train riding these rails is a passenger train? Get it together, guys. 15. Stairway to window. This type of engineering fail is always pretty funny to see. Like, who starts and fully completes a project like this, knowing that your work isn't going to serve any type of real purpose? Who puts in a full staircase, knowing full well that the staircase doesn't go anywhere rational? Maybe these people specifically requested a staircase just outside of their window? You'd think that the builder would at least raise a question or two about this, or, point out the fact that the staircase isn't placed in an appropriate location. They were probably just working for a paycheck, right? 14. You shall not pass. When we look at this, we can't help but wonder who decided to put this column in the exact location they did. Couldn't they move it a couple of feet one way or the other to avoid blocking off this already too small staircase? Or maybe the staircase was a last-second addition and was put in after the column? It doesn't look that way though, and either way, this is an engineering disaster. Why waste time and money building something that doesn't and will never work? People are weird. 13. Just a little lean. It almost looks as though there was just an extreme wind that knocked this thing slightly sideways. What we don't quite get is how somebody who does stuff like this for a living could make this type of mistake in the first place, and how they could leave it after realizing that they messed up. This would probably work if the road were sloped downwards in the opposite direction. Couldn't they just turn this around, reaffix the signs, and call it good? Even if it did look like the backside, it would look better than what they left. 12. Gotta work for your money. Hey, maybe this is part of the city's new weight loss initiative. You only have to be able to jump really high to be able to use this ATM, and you've also got to have excellent hand-eye coordination. Can you imagine? You not only have to have the hops to reach the buttons, but you need to be able to use your hands and hit the mark spot on during your jumps before you get too tired. One jump to put your card in, one jump for every option you need to press, and one jump for every number of your pin. What happens when you get too tired to jump and your card is still in the machine? I guess you could do the splits and shuffle your way up between the two walls. 11. Better duck. For real, what kind of professional puts these things in and leaves them after realizing they've made such a colossal mistake? They should put in a security camera right about where this picture was taken so that we can see all of the things that go wrong with this escalator. We're sure people have gotten hurt on it, so why would it even be up in the first place? If you can't look at this and realize that it's probably going to cost more money in lawsuits than it did to put it in the first place, you shouldn't be allowed around power tools. Maybe this is a lazy escalator, where you're encouraged to sit instead of stand. That would make sense, and in that case, they wouldn't have to give any extra headroom. 10. Sitting crooked. Does this window look a little drunk to you? Maybe the person who put it in was indulging a little too much when they made it. How hard is it to line up that one final window with all the other windows that precede it? How is it even possible to angle a window like this in the first place? We're just confused because this isn't just slightly crooked. It looks like the window is falling from the building to its imminent shattering below. All we want to know is how. 9. A drop to severe injuries. Now, from the inside, We're sure this door doesn't look strange at all, but if someone were in a hurry and just so happened to pick this door to rush through, they would probably sustain some life-threatening injuries. Can you imagine if this were the only door into whatever's on that floor? You'd watch people roll up at 8 a.m. and then wait in line to try to scale this wall to get inside. How fun! This is definitely an engineering fail. I mean, why couldn't they just add a staircase and make this a normal door? 8. A throne fit for a king. Have you ever wanted to be up on your very own pedestal in your bathroom? Well, if you were to get whoever designed this bathroom to do yours, that would be a genuine possibility. The only real problem we see with this one is the lack of headspace. And hey, we could even deal with that if it meant they got to go high above all else and we could survey our lands from above. This one is kind of cool, you know? This is like a funny engineering win if you ask us. 7. Ouch. Who built this playground? And who commissioned the not very brilliant builder to build it? Did this not look like a really bad idea to them? We get it, they're probably not quite done yet, and we hope that the hole will end up filled in. But picture it if they didn't. This looks like it was designed by some sort of kidnapper. If they left this, kids would grow up and tell their grandchildren, "Back in my day, we'd slide down a slide into a cement pit and have to crawl our way out." 6. Oh boy. This really couldn't have made the owner of this house very happy. What do you do when your house is being moved and it collapses a bridge that it's in the middle of crossing over? The responsibility for the failure here lies with whoever put in the bridge that was obviously nearing the end of its life and not doing enough upkeep. Oh, and with the people who didn't make sure the bridge could hold the weight of the home before crossing it. Whoever ended up being blamed in the end probably had to cover a lot in losses. 5. A little privacy, please? If you walked into this bathroom and saw not only someone's feet, but the entirety of them doing their business besides their face, you'd have to laugh, wouldn't you? Who in the world decided to put the doors to these stalls so far up? Did they think that this was a bathroom for giants? It is excellent though. You wouldn't even have to touch the nasty doors with your hands to get where you need to go. You could duck right under the door, do what you've got to do, then duck on out of there. Maybe they were trying to keep people from getting sick. 4. It's not working. Either this was a pretty excellent practical joke, or the person who put these stairs in really didn't understand what escalator handrails look like. Think about how many people probably stepped onto these stairs and then waited to be whisked away to the second level. To be honest, we'd probably be fooled too, especially during the holiday season when everyone's mind is elsewhere. This is another place they should install a camera so that we could see how fooled so many people are. There would probably be enough footage to start an entire YouTube channel. 3. This looks like a good idea. Well, not really at all. This is like the age-old question of the chicken or the egg. Who put what in first, the faucet or the electrical outlet? Combining these two side by side like this with no barrier looks like a recipe for disaster, in the form of fire or somebody getting electrocuted. How does one even put in a faucet with no sink basin to catch all the water? Didn't this register to anybody that this wasn't going to work out? 2. Beware of potential head-on collisions. Now, not only is this fail a fail, but it's potentially fatal and should be fixed as soon as humanly possible. This road probably shouldn't even be open with the lines on the street painted like this. Did the road surfacers not think about the significant problems that could occur with the lines being drawn like this? Did they not drive themselves and not realize the gravity of what could happen? Can't you see a head-on collision occurring with this abrupt lane shift? This looks like a whole bunch of lawsuits just waiting to be filed. We've seen a lot of problem construction and overall failage so far, and we still have one more to go. First though, we'd like to ask you, have you ever seen any engineering fails to rival what's on this list? Or have you yourself ever attempted to build something that worked out hilariously? We'd love to hear about it in the comments below. 1. Follow the rules. There's one thing you don't want to do when you're traveling on a bike down this here bike path. We get it. Sometimes random poles get put in places where they shouldn't by accident. But the thing that really makes this fail hard is the arrow that's painted on the ground pointing directly at the pole. If you were to follow what the ground is telling you and ride right over this arrow, you'd find yourself in a whole world of hurt. There's not even much room to bike past on either side of this thing, so staying in the lane is looking pretty hard. Come on now, it seems like they're just hoping for some injuries. If you got a kick out of all of these engineering fails, do us a favor and leave a like before you go. Be sure to subscribe to our channel below or by clicking on the logo right here so that you never miss any of our excellent daily uploads. And check out this great video that we picked out just for you.